I love you. Have a good day. This life's been kind to me, and I've got to change. To stop taking it for granted. I need to take the time to look at what's right in front of me. The exercise is good for me. It gives me time to think. There's a whole future ahead. I've got to think long term. No more. I'll stop that drift. I'm going to tell him how I feel. I don't feel like I chose to be here, but it is a good place. Some of the patterns are worth keeping. But, I don't know. We're getting lazy. I don't want that. I can't believe how lucky I've been. And I took it for granted. Living carefree has been good, but it's not going anywhere. I'm happy with him. I have to be sure he knows that. Patterns. Every day that alarm goes off. I should change the tone on it. Though, Harry always sleeps through it, so that's something. I think of these routines as optimized living, like they allow me time to focus on other things. But I've not been doing that. I love this painting, and I can't remember the last time I really looked at it. Harry likes me in this t-shirt. Great stories trapped in a moment. They're brilliant, but maybe I should add some new ones. These daily things, they're good, but weigh us down too. I've got to a good place in life, but I feel like I'm not taking it further. Even here I get into patterns. Bathroom first, then kitchen for breakfast. Maybe I should change that. Changing the routine. I'm so rock and roll. Tea. A man takes the lead, Grandma would tell me. I guess I need to step up to the line. I've got a great thing here. I don't think she meant this, but she's right. I should take the lead. I should ask Harry to marry me. I want to be his husband. Will Grandma come to the wedding? I think she will. Maybe.
Of course, as Will's grandmother, I knew him since he was born. I visited him in hospital on that first day. I still remember the day that James, that's Will's father, handed my grandson to me. He was such a handsome boy from that first moment. Back in the 1980s, James was running 3 pubs in London. He was quite into that punk thing and looked a terrible state to me. I would babysit Will as often as I could to make sure he had someone normal in his life. It's good for a young boy to be outdoors. But Will never really liked that when he was young. James and Sharon would always be putting on some awful music, if you can call it that. Not my cup of tea at all. I turned it off first thing whenever I was babysitting. Sharon, Will's mother, broke up with James for 3 years at one point and took Will away to America, where she comes from. They had met through James's work. No wonder, really. James had horror books in the house, and I'm so glad they were kept on a high shelf away from Will. Terrible things. I just don't understand what pleasure there is in that kind of story. The magazines that Sharon read were full of paintings. I'm not sure they were very suitable for a young boy to be around, but I don't like to judge. Will's birth wasn't very easy, but he got here. He was never going to have brothers or sisters after, though. I only wanted the best for Will. I must sound like I was terribly damning of James and Sharon, but I loved Will as a boy and wanted to give him the best chance of a normal life. I remember that evening. Will had been quieter than usual. He told me that he had been in a fight. Another boy had been calling a girl names because she had dark skin. Will was punched in the stomach when he tried to get the boy to stop. I asked him if he had cried, and he said yes. I told him that big boys don't cry. I remember him asking me then, what do big boys do when they're sad? When he was grown up, I told him he would be a good man. He would be able to stand up to others. I told him that he was right to try to stop the bully. Looking back, I don't think he seemed very comforted. When he was going to bed, Will tripped on a toy. I remember carrying him. He was trying so hard not to cry. He was so small in my arms. I've never forgotten that feeling. I have so many little memories making up our lives together. It's odd what sticks with you, though. I took him to bed to read him a story. Sharon kept on buying him books of ghost stories. He always wanted me to read him those, but he never slept properly after, I think. He would never settle properly until I had checked the room for ghosts. I made sure he could see me looking carefully. I remember promising him, while I looked, that I would always protect him. I would always be there for him. I'm sure he thought I just meant about ghosts, but I meant it for everything. I always remember that feeling. I wonder if I knew his life wouldn't be easy. I've been reading him Grimm's fairy tales. I didn't like all the updated nonsense they'd been putting into stories back then. That night was a strange story called The Ungrateful Son. It went something like this. Once upon a time, a man and his wife were eating a roast chicken for dinner. When the man saw his father, who was very old, walking up the road towards them, the man didn't want to share his chicken, so he hid it out of sight. His father came, bid them a good day, and went on his way. The man was happy with himself and told his wife to get the chicken and put it on the table again. But the chicken had transformed into a giant toad, which leapt onto the face of the man. The toad wouldn't leave his face and hissed at the wife when she came near, so she didn't dare approach to help. The man had to feed the toad every day from then on, or it would bite his face, and he never rested for the remainder of his life. That was a very strange story. Will was asleep before I finished it, which was probably a good thing. I felt strange after reading it. I wondered about whether I really could keep him safe. I didn't know where life was going to take him. I was his grandmother, and I hoped I would help him be a good man. I could still see him sleeping there now, like it was only yesterday. I'd raised James, so I thought I would be ready for anything from my grandson Will. But I wasn't daft enough to think that it would be easy. The world changes so fast. I remember the family visiting me when Will was a teenager. Do you know Al Martino's Here in My Heart? He had such a lovely voice. It was playing when Robert first kissed me. Robert would hum it to me sometimes. We've family over in New Zealand. I went to visit them after James had grown up. We still write letters to each other, at Christmas, you know. It's important to stay in touch with your family, even when we're so spread out. I like to go down to Brighton, to the seaside, and I would buy a new glass animal every time I went there, collecting them. Everyone should have a hobby, I think. My husband Robert was a writer, like Will. I think they would have loved talking. Maybe Will's interest would have inspired Robert to push a bit harder in his work. We were all waiting back then for Diana to divorce Charles. It had been such a scandal after that television interview that she did. Sometimes people treat us old people like we have nothing to say, so I started the conversation.
I think it's sad. She was bullied into all of this from the beginning.
The conversation didn't go well from there. I got very frustrated with him. I told you before that Sharon is American. She didn't say anything, which was probably a blessing, really. James didn't help. He has always been so obtuse in his views. I wish I'd never even started the conversation. They didn't want to hear my opinion. "Excuse me, I'm going to make some tea," I said. No one offered to help. I didn't really want tea. I don't think they wanted it either. But I needed to do something. I know it seems like a small thing, but maybe it was the first time that I felt apart from Will. These days it's easier to be different, to forge your own path or something like that, and everyone else be damned. There wasn't any choice in my day, but it gave me a quiet life. That was good enough. I was used to James, and of course Sharon being difficult, but not Will like that. I wish Will understood that you've got to fit in to get along in life. I was worried about him getting all these views. It could get him into trouble. I was so scared that Will was going to go off half-cocked and make a mess of his life. I stood there, waiting for the tea to brew. And I cried for him. He was young, but he was old enough too. He was going to make mistakes, and I wouldn't be able to stop him. I knew something had been broken that day between Will and I. I took a deep breath and pulled myself together. It's not the done thing to let others see you get upset. I've lived alone since a little time after Will was born. That was when Robert passed away. I missed him, of course. Yet it was tolerable until then. But then, after we disagreed, I felt so distant from them all. It was terrible. My generation has different values. Oh, goodness, I know that. But I very much believe that they are good. I wasn't prepared to accept that Will wasn't going to talk to me anymore. His views, I felt he was putting his future at risk. Those views, liberalism and such like, I knew he would change his mind as he got older. But before he changed, what damage would he do to his options? I felt uneasy about that Christmas. We would be together all day. I was down in the dumps, to be honest. It was good to keep busy, making the place look nice. I remember a Christmas after Will had gone to university, but we were all coming back together for the holiday. It's important to keep in touch with your friends. We didn't have the internet back then. I wish people still wrote letters. Will was bringing a girlfriend, Sarah. I wanted the place to look perfect. My family arrived just as the Christmas lunch was ready. It was perfect timing. Will and I hadn't spoken for months. I didn't know if he understood that when we disagreed, it was only because I cared so much about him. Sarah seemed a little shy, but she was lovely. She told us about her university courses and was thoroughly charming. When Sharon took Will to America, he was only 10. Like most boys, he wasn't much of a letter writer. She took him away from us for 3 years, and I barely saw him. James is most definitely Robert's son. Kind, but capable of so much more than he does. Will was a perfect gentleman. He had such fine manners.
Thanks.
I felt so proud of Will. He was becoming the man I had hoped he would be. Sarah seemed like such a lovely match for him. He would have a happy, normal life. But that was the last time I saw her. The next summer, I went to visit Will at university. I always like to arrive on time. It's just polite. So I had left plenty of time for the drive down to see him. I ended up being rather early, and it was my first visit to the campus, so I went for a walk. The old buildings there are lovely. Young people were everywhere, full of life and excitement before the summer break. I hoped I might see Sarah among all the beautiful girls. University wasn't a normal option for people in my time, and I never went. A solid education helps to improve a person. I saw Will before he saw me. He was a short distance away, and I couldn't make out what he was doing. Then I saw that he was holding hands with a man. And then they kissed, out in the open where anyone could see. He went and did that after everything I had tried to teach him. I knew that all those liberal views would get him in trouble. I left right away. I couldn't think of a single thing I could say to him. Will didn't see me. What was I supposed to do? Act like everything was going to be okay for him? He was so young to be doing that kind of thing, with his whole life ahead. Suddenly, the university seemed ugly, obscene. All that sense of entitlement, but no appreciation. All those petty children doing whatever they wanted, ignoring the responsibility of the freedoms my generation got for them. I could barely stay civil with anyone there. He had made me furious. He was putting himself in danger after everything I had done for him. That sort of thing. It all just feels wrong to me. Sorry, but that's just the way I feel about this. I barely saw Will for the next few years. I couldn't bring myself to talk to him. Looking back, it was silly. After university, he went travelling, seeing the world. I stayed at my house. Being alone in a house by yourself. I said my husband Robert died when Will was young, didn't I? Being alone can make you live in the past. You watch the world change without you. I don't know if he knew how much I loved him when he was growing up. He's still that tiny, playful little boy in my head, I think. I had such hopes for Will, and all the things that he would be when he was a man. But life goes on. I was working in the garden. Things go wild if you leave them too long. Will would occasionally send me a postcard from somewhere foreign on his travels. He wasn't in travel journalism back then. Even though I was angry, I still worried about him. I got up to answer it and tripped, twisting my ankle in the garden. It hurt like the blazes. I couldn't do a thing. The doorbell went again, but it hurt too much to move. I called out for help. I heard someone coming around the side of the house. It was Will, coming to visit me. He'd come back from travelling. I had been so cold to him, never reaching out, but that didn't matter to him.
It's okay.
He looked after me anyway. I saw, inside the man he was, the same kind boy that I knew. I don't claim that I'll understand some of his choices,
Let's get you inside.
but I had missed something, distracted by just one part of him. I missed that he was the kind, strong, loving man I had always wanted him to be. The best sort of man. He was even kind to a fool like me. I'll never forget that.
Grandma is from a different generation. She loves me, I know that. She just expresses herself really badly sometimes. She's trying hard though. I should call her later. It's real weird looking back at my childhood. I had all these messages about what a man should be, and now I'm thinking about marrying Harry. But is this me? Us, now and forever? I love Harry, but he just wants to be here, in these routines. Are we two different people? I feel like he helped me to get where I am, but I don't know if he's everything for the future too. How do people usually decide this stuff? Time to get ready. Love is a strange thing. Totally personal, but shared by everyone too. I remember I loved Sarah when I was with her at uni. What would be the point in marriage? I hurt Sarah when I was with her. I'll hurt Harry too, in the end. I don't deserve someone like him.
I was so frightened on my first day at university. My parents drove me to the student village in a car stuffed with everything I owned in the world. I was faking a look of confidence. I doubt anyone noticed. Probably everyone else was too. Paul always liked Will. I doubt my biological dad would have. Looking at all my things in the boot of the car, I never knew I had so much stuff. I think Mum or Paul must have picked up the keys from somewhere. Weird that I don't remember how we got them now. I went up first. Walking into my dorm room for the first time, I could only think about my own nerves. It's one of those things that we do sometimes. We forget about the feelings of others. Yes, I was scared about it all, but how did Mum and Paul feel? After unloading the car, they were about to drive away to an empty home for the first time in 18 years. Maybe it was a scarier day for them than for me. I was floating through unpacking, thinking about that space upstairs. My room had probably the cheapest carpet in the world. It was awful. They might as well have painted concrete, but it was my room and amazing. It had 4 walls and a door that I could lock. I was frightened, sure, but also excited. I had my own key and all the stuff that goes with that. I wondered if anyone was going to be interested in me. Smartish. Pretty, but pretty bland. I was trying hard to be more. Not only in the background of every scene. I didn't see that we all were pretending, really. Wait, no, cute is the right word. I wasn't really thinking about sexy back then. I felt so adult, but I had so much growing up to do. It's funny to think back, like this, now. Will must have been in the lectures over the first few weeks, but I didn't notice him, if I'm honest. I was so busy with everything and just learning how to live, do laundry, cook every day, that kind of thing. I next remember seeing Will through the window of the Union Bar. I recognized him then from the first day, and I remembered liking how he'd look back at me then. The Union usually played the dancey stuff. Higher State of Consciousness was still on heavy rotation, but sometimes they played the better stuff. Blur, Pulp, a bit older stuff like In Spiral Carpets, but not often. As much as it was tacky in there, I miss it too. It was crowded, hard to talk, and the floor was sticky from spilled Alka-Pops, but it was fun. I guess I set my sights on him that night. I was determined to at least talk to him. Finding Will wasn't easy. I definitely wasn't the tallest person there, and the lights didn't help. I think I was changing fast. It'd only been a couple of weeks since I got to uni, but I felt very different. Will always gave me a good vibe. I know that sounds weird, but there it is. He just felt like a good person. He was too. I joined in whatever the conversation was that Will was having. I've no idea what we talked about. I think I was pretty obvious in my intentions. We had a few drinks and I remember pulling him outside. You know the feeling, the rush of anticipation? I was getting that so much. We went to sit just outside the bar. We could still hear the music, and the cold night air felt good. And that was when he first kissed me. Our first proper date was to the cinema. We sat at the back, kind of a cliche really. There's that pressure for back row liaisons, you know? We sat there fidgeting, wanting to touch but scared to. I kept on trying to look at him from the side to see if he was looking at me. I wanted to hold his hand, but he seemed to shy away. Or maybe he didn't intend that. I shifted to rest my leg against his. It was awkward and definitely not the natural and subtle thing I was going for. We ignored the film, pretty much. It was that silly action one, with that guy who always acts crazy, thingamy. It was like everything else faded out. I plucked up the courage and put my hand on his leg, and he gave me one of his lovely, shy smiles. He put his hand on the side of my face, just gently on the skin, turning me to face him. He closed his eyes and kissed me, placing his lips softly onto mine. We locked our fingers together and watched the rest of the film. We didn't let go until ages after we left the cinema. Even as we left, there was something else there. Did you ever have a love that you felt so strongly that you knew it had to end? Will always gave the impression of confidence, like he always had a grand plan. I wish I knew if he saw that end coming too, like I felt it was. I don't know if that would have made how it went any easier. I spent the next day finally doing the unpacking that I'd been putting off. I'd done my clothes and the essentials, but there were other bits to be done. I hung up a tasseled cloth scarf that was my mum's. She's a bit of a hippie. I think I brought my old books as a comfort thing. I didn't really expect to read them at uni. They were just nice to have around. When I was born, someone from my mum's work gave me a toy bunny. I know it's silly, but it makes me happy. I've still got that bunny on a shelf in my room. It's like looking straight into the past and some good times. Even the smell makes me happy. There were some candles my mum had given me. Will was coming over later that week and I was falling for him, so I thought I'd make it more cozy in there. Is it weird to tell you this? I kept on changing my mind. It shouldn't have mattered so much, but I wanted the place to look nice. It's weird how long you think about such small things. The little choices are important. I guess it didn't make any difference really, but I was happy when I was sure I'd got it right. I wanted to feel comfortable when Will came over. Will and I, it felt like a Romeo and Juliet kind of thing, and just as likely to burn us both as to make us happy. But what a lovely way to burn. That Christmas, I met Will's family. We'd been together for 4 months. Do you remember me there? I was head over heels in love with him. I didn't say much in case I blurted out something wrong to his family. We were still at that stage where you constantly want to touch the other person. I love that, but I didn't reach out with his family or there. I remember he lightly touched the back of my neck as he poured me some wine, and it sent tingles into my stomach. It was a really nice meal, and we all got on okay. I think I looked a bit too grungy for the occasion. I felt really self-conscious. I loved him so much, but that feeling I had wouldn't go away, that it was all going to end. That Christmas Day, though, I felt like we had a chance. Things were going well, but over the months, I felt the relationship changing. We would watch videos in bed together, or whatever was on the TV. Coronation Street had a transgender character. It wasn't something I'd thought much about before. I'd never had to think about my sexuality much. I'm straight, and as far as I knew, my friends up until that time all had been too. I just accepted Will for who he was, regardless of his sexuality. It's funny to tell you this now, but I was never jealous of Harry. You'd think I would be, but I loved Will so much. I just wanted him to be happy. Will and me were studying English. Harry was on the course too. There was a spark between Will and Harry, that much was obvious. Will was always happy when Harry was around. I couldn't feel jealous. I wanted him, them, to be happy. I'll never forget that time, seeing their friendship grow. I could feel the end of it all shaping up, but we had good times anyway. We were in love, but lonely too. It felt like we were the only people in the world. Maybe I didn't mind Will getting closer to Harry because it felt like our own love was too much for two people. As the months went by, we went out less. We would go out to meet up with Harry and a couple of other friends, but it was mostly just Will and me. Those memories will always be a warm place for me. We would listen to music as we fell asleep. Do you remember Enigma? Monks chanting and electronic stuff. We'd put that on a lot and just let ourselves drift off to the music. We listened to a lot of Portishead. Even now when I listen to them, I remember being back in that room, in his arms. It might seem odd to you, but it was my suggestion. I told Will to ask out Harry. I loved him. I knew it would make us all happy for Will to have Harry in his life. It was something he needed to do. I feel lucky. How many times in your life will you be sure you've helped a person find their true love? Though it was rough. For a long time, I wished that true love had been me. Let me paint a picture for you of the end. Will had been seeing both me and Harry at the same time for about 6 months. I can see you think that sounds weird, but it really wasn't. We were all open, safe, and honest about it. The picture. It was in the basement of the Royal Oak in October. You could still smoke in pubs back then, and the faint smell was always there. The chairs were covered with a tapestry weaving type of fabric that was worn away from years of use. It was that old, heavy pub furniture. There was the muffled sound of the George Street traffic. I knew what I was going to say to Will. Before I went to university, a friend asked me what love is. I told her that love was being able to tell a person that you never wanted to see them again. Even though it broke your heart to do it, you would tell them to leave you because it was right. I was quite happy with that answer, like love was something from a Shakespearean tragedy. I don't know why they asked me. I'd never been in love when I said that. I didn't think I'd have to do it myself one day. I didn't expect to be right. We need to talk.
Oh?
I'm not helping you anymore.
I don't think I follow.
I feel like I'm getting in your way.
You're not. This is good.
Sure, but I don't know if it's good for you.
I'd like to be the one making that choice.
I'm happy with you. I love you, but this isn't about me.
I love you too. I want to be with you.
I know, but I don't think you should be.
Is this it? Can I do anything differently?
No, you've not done anything wrong.
I don't want this.
Me either. But it's right.
I love you.
I love you too. I loved him so much. It hurt so badly to let him go. I never forgot him. Love doesn't just stop. I still carry those memories of our time together with me, like a polished stone in my pocket. It feels so real, like I can really hold it in my hands. I cherish the memory of that time we had. I've never loved anyone like that again. It took me 2 years to get over Will. I could see him falling in love with Harry. Soft and deep love, not like the fire we had. It was beautiful. I didn't really consider that we could all have kept on dating together. You know, it might have worked for a while, but that wasn't what we did. It's just the past. I don't know if what I felt was a proper depression, but it was definitely a really bad time for me. I just worked really hard all of the time and got a great degree grade from it, so that was something good for me from it all.
Sarah and I still meet up. It took a few years before that was comfortable. I still love her. I'm not sure she realizes how much, but not the way I did back then. The things that we've been through, they lead us to the present. The people we've loved shape who we are now. The small things mean a lot. Sarah set me in motion to be here now. A word, an act, just going through everyday life with someone. It all has meaning. What's that, Harry? Yeah, I'm spraying my pits while thinking about proposing to you. Maybe I won't tell him this bit. It's easy to lose track of the big picture. Sure, we're in patterns, but that's not bad. I love him. That's wonderful enough without every day being action-packed. And there are bigger adventures beyond marriage. We could start a family. Kids. Wow. That could be good, actually. Maybe I'll leave that conversation to another day, eh? One thing at a time. Oh, I could propose and he says no. Am I going too fast? Starting a family together. Actually, that feels right to me. The most important day of my life ahead. I'll need these. I don't know what lies ahead, but it'll be amazing. I love you. Have a good day. This life's been kind to me, and I've got to change. To stop taking it for granted. I need to take the time to look at what's right in front of me. The exercise is good for me. It gives me time to think. There's a whole future ahead. I've got to think long term. No more. I'll stop that drift. I'm going to tell him how I feel. I don't feel like I chose to be here, but it is a good place. Some of the patterns are worth keeping. But, I don't know. We're getting lazy. I don't want that.
Sunday was always our day together. We worked too much during the week to see each other often, so on Sundays we would go to feed the ducks. I wish we hadn't worked so hard. It was our place to be together. We loved it in the summer, like it was when it happened. But the bare trees in the winter had their beauty too. We would walk among them in thick coats, holding each other for warmth. This whole place makes me think of him. He would quack at the ducks. He pretended to have conversations with them, and that we saw the same ones every week. He began to set up little stories between them. And then one day, he was gone. The crash investigators don't know whose fault it was. I just can't get myself to feel that it matters. He was driving, and now They took him to hospital. Someone called me, but I don't remember who. And I don't remember how I got to the hospital. He was dead when I arrived. All these things, these reminders of our time together. I never thought I'd be here, wanting them gone. Such a small thing. A week after the crash, I was calm. Then I saw his toothbrush and knew I had to throw it away. And wept. Collapsed on the floor of the bathroom. Sometimes he would read to me at night. I would lie with my eyes closed, just listening to the sound of his voice, feeling my breathing slow, knowing he was beside me. When friends come to visit me, they speak to me in a quiet voice, as if a loud sound might startle me. They ask about the missing objects. I say, I'm going for a minimalist look. They nod and give me a strange smile, but I know they don't believe me. They know the reminders hurt too much. I've been walking more since he died. I've been trying to get away from the memories to find something new, but everywhere I go, I see things that make me think of him. He once told me that you could judge how much money there is in an area by the state of the street lamps. Something about the style and the freshness of the paint. I don't remember. I can't face going to restaurants yet. I don't want a table for one. The car was barely damaged in the accident. It was just a knock. Twisting his neck the wrong way. The insurers asked if I wanted to repair the car. I couldn't speak to answer. I decided to stay inside more. Keep to the inside. I can control what's in here. But even at work there are reminders. I need this space to be clear, so I can be free. I know what they mean by heartbroken now. I feel like something is crying in my chest, making me feel only cold inside. Everything has to go. I'll clear it all away and start again. He'd want me to be happy, but I can't be. Not living like this. How are we supposed to go on in their absence? I'm nearly there. It's all gone. He's gone, but he's not. I can't get rid of him. Why won't he leave me alone? I'm different now. He changed me. I feel the space he's left inside me. But it's okay. It's his shape. That's going to be part of me that I carry forever. Denying that would be killing him again. I can live. It's okay to do that. And be happy again someday soon. Eventually. Happy I knew him. He would laugh at me now, crying over silly things, and hug me too, and hold me. I wish he could hold me again. One short life together. That was all we got. I wouldn't swap this feeling for anything, if it meant I had to lose the memory of his love too. I can still hear his voice reading his favourite books to me as I drifted off to sleep. This might be all there is. Just this one life. I don't know, but I was lucky to meet him. And to love him.
I'll never forget him. He reached out to me when I'd pushed him away. When he was small, I'd looked after him. But in the end, he looked after me when I needed him. I saw things with him that I would never have dreamed of as a child.
Okay, so this is the mouse.
He often visited over the years. The world was changing, and he was changing, becoming more mature. And then you came to see me. And then you told me what had happened.
It's one of those strange things. I had just been thinking about Will. We kept in touch a little, then a few years later became friends again when he was working based out of London. It felt good to have him in my life again. He talked about his job, his family. He often spoke about you both. He told me how happy he was. And then you called me. Hello? He was happy at the end.
He loved you both so much. I still keep on thinking I'll see him again, or that he's walking beside me, just in the corner of my eye. It's silly, really. I kept thinking about how bad my luck was, but that's not true. We were lucky. We were so lucky. After we had talked, I went back to the park, to the place where Will and I had spent so much time together. They had shared fragments of his life with me that I had never known. I felt a kind of peace. It helped, talking with others. Will was gone. But I wasn't alone. They carry him with them too. I just needed to let myself see that. I still miss him, but day by day that gets easier. It gets easier to remember the good times and be grateful. We had good times, better times than some people get in their whole lives. That's enough for me.